Hi, I'm Nico, and this is my focus group. I know I want to do a coming of age, but like a sad coming of age type film with a voiceover narration over the top. That was all I was kind of set on, and I want it to be like an emotional monologue over the top. But I couldn't really decide on ideas, so I kind of went down the route of looking at other coming of age films, and obviously growing up is like a big topic in most coming of age films.
Yeah.
I want to do something maybe about like growing up and like struggles of growing up, or like something around that kind of thing. But that's the thing, I haven't explored it enough, and I have a few ideas, like maybe cutting off parents, or maybe being afraid of change, or not being able to grow up as fast, or growing up too fast, stuff around that sort of line. And I know I want a dark kind of colour scheme over it, and I want it to be kind of a low mood and like almost unsettling nostalgia sort of thing. But I'm not very sure on an actual like plot or structure yet.
I have a plot idea for you. There's a stage in people's lives that are really difficult, which even for me, like I'm actually really scared of. Is like once I think our age range from like 17, 18 to probably like 20, everyone's life changes so quick because your friendship groups, everyone is like leaving and starting to live their own life.
And you kind of go from child to adult in about a second.
I don't think it's talked about enough about like actually living your own life and not going to school and seeing people all the time, like not even just going to school, like because being at uni,
it can be quite lonely.
It's
that was
so
the thing
lonely.
I kind of got like kind of inspiration from like.
Are you going what
moment.
kind of age?
What age range?
I'm thinking our age, because I feel like that's kind of where I got the inspiration from, of the fact that it's like we're all going off to uni, and it's like you go from still being like a child
like
sort of thing in school,
to like
to
full
all
on
of a sudden
adult.
you're like, hang on, I'm moving out in a few months, I'm going away, and I think
you're working, like people actually get busy and have to earn money.
I feel like change could be a good like if you want to
change and fear of change sort of thing.
I can't show you the TikTok
because I don't know what like in your mind maps, like for my mind maps I just thought of themes and then did mind maps off of that.
That's what
like,
I kind of I only had one mind map of like other ones, because I just had growing up in the middle and then things coming off it, like relationships with parents, relationships with friends, but fear of change I think is one that it's vast enough that I could kind of do quite a bit with it.
There's like lots of films, like obviously there's so many films you could like, there's so many
refer back to
like ways you could go with it. Like there's like films like the dark kind of like, what's it called, 13. There's like
that's
that.
Definitely coming.
That's more dark kind of like.
I hated 13.
Really?
Why?
It is like it's meant to make you feel like.
Or there's like the actual happy coming of. I can't think of one right now, but.
I feel like I feel like I don't know. I was slightly thinking about having like, because you know how like when coming of age films are like almost a mix of both, where it's like you feel almost like uneasy or like kind of
something bad's gonna happen.
It's a depressing like mood throughout it, but it still has a little bit of like feel good kind of energy to it in a way. I don't know how to explain what I mean.
I've never been a 13-year-old girl.
Like obviously not that one, but you know like how some it's just sort of like they almost seem like uncomfortable to watch, but you want to watch it, and it's almost like it feels good even though it's bad things that happen.
Like,
I kind of want to do it partially like that, like almost just like an uneasy good feeling.
No, I know what you mean, like kind of nostalgia.
That.
And like I feel like the teenage years are like feel like that. Do you know what I
and
mean?
like holding on to your childhood quite a bit. That's what I was thinking
about something that pretty much everyone experiences, but in slightly different ways.
I definitely think change could be a good.
Because I was thinking when I was like thinking about change, I was thinking about how a lot of people are holding on to their childhood and reminiscing too much to a point where it's like you get depressed because you're like, oh, I'm never going to be 10 again,
get that
and I'm
back.
never going to be like seeing the world how I saw it then. And that's, I was also thinking about looking at, you know, how like people say like kids see the world in brighter colours. And I was wanting to maybe do something with colour to do with that.
have a character that really lives. Like,
and showing almost like the difference between it. And I don't know how I'd go about it, but I think I want to do a lot with like colour grading and stuff to show the difference between like how we saw the world when we were younger and how we see the world kind of grey.
That's a good idea.
You could do like a storyline of someone and following it through like their eyes, like, if that makes sense, and have like different scenes, like timeline it in like a way, so you could film part of it when they're, I don't know, 10, and then part of it when they're 18 or whatever,
and, like,
and they've maybe gone through like a depressive mode, and it's like black, or
you could do like how like different you see the world. Like, so an 18-year-old is obviously gonna see the world a bit like less like than a 10-year-old. Like a 10-year-old is like looking
Everything
out like, oh my god, I
amazing.
want to do that, I want to be her, I want to like be a teenager. And then like obviously when you're that age, you're like, oh okay, this
and it's
is
just
not
a bit like,
actually
oh, it's not
that
great.
yeah.
I feel like I could do maybe something where it's like, because I'm having the monologue over the top, I feel like the actual storyline, and because it's a coming of age film, I don't feel like the actual storyline has to be that like this happens,
strong,
but I feel like I could kind of do maybe almost flashbacks and do like point of view shots where it's like kind of flashbacks to how you saw it when you were younger or stuff like that.
Maybe even like a point where when like your friends have moved past the growing up stage and you're still stuck in like a younger age, maybe because they've got jobs and they've
someone who's struggling to move on.
And like they're almost still seeing it in a childlike way.
Especially when like people start to meet their partners and have kids, and you're still like, I don't know,
like you don't know what you're doing with your life.
Some people have kids when they're like 25 and then you're like, fuck, I haven't even got a proper job yet.
No, I think I might kind of explore that a little bit and look into like change and stuff like that more, and I guess different like mental headspaces around growing up and look into that for research. But